Here we are. Welcome to the show. Today's focus is on the Philadelphia Eagles, and I appreciate you including this discussion in your day. We will take a deep dive into all the visits the Eagles made before the draft, particularly focusing on the list of prospects set to meet with the team or have already had these meetings before the 25th NFL Draft. It is worth mentioning that these pre-draft visits have become a strong indicator of the team's interests in the first round. Since the department's control was reestablished, these visits have gained significant importance. In 2016, the team decided to select a quarterback after making a move in the draft. The player participated in a pre-draft visit in Philadelphia, as did another standout quarterback. Moving on to 2017, a pass rusher from the University of Tennessee also visited the team during the pre-draft period. In 2018, the team made an unexpected pick by trading draft positions. The following year, the selection was a surprise, but the player faced some early struggles before excelling and securing a significant contract with another team. Unfortunately, he did not have a pre-draft visit to the facilities, while another athlete had that opportunity and was chosen instead of the one who went on to shine in the league. The next year, the team corrected this decision by selecting a Heisman winner, recognized as one of the best wide receivers in college football history. That year, pre-draft visits could not take place due to exceptional circumstances. Since then, there has been remarkable progress. In 2022, the team traded up in the draft to select a player who, to this point, has not turned out to be the best pick, but he did participate in a pre-draft visit the following year. The connection with the University of Georgia persisted, resulting in significant draft picks, both with pre-draft visits. In 2024, a first-round selection was made, securing a standout cornerback, who also had a pre-draft visit. The trend is clear. Since 2016, most of the players selected in the first round have participated in pre-draft visits, representing a considerable percentage for the team. Now, let's get into the details of the pre-draft visits. These are athletes who have been in the city or are scheduled to meet with the team. An offensive tackle from the University of Oregon, an offensive tackle from Purdue University, a robust offensive tackle from NC State, and a representative from the University of Iowa, also an offensive tackle. So, there's a significant number of offensive line players on the list. A fast cornerback from the University of Kentucky, and an edge rusher from SMU who had a notable performance despite struggles in a specific game. A talented edge rusher from Boston College, another edge rusher from Miami, and a running back from Texas who had an impressive pro day are scheduled to meet with the team. Additionally, a player from a smaller school who played offensive tackle may be considered a development project. There's much more to explore here, but the question today is about the vote. A highly talented running back from Texas is about to meet with a team alongside a player from a smaller school who stands out as an offensive tackle. He may be viewed as a development project for the organization. There's a lot more to explore in this conversation, but the question of the day is which position you would like the team to choose in the first round. They have several needs, and opinions on the direction to take are quite varied. Personally, I believe the pick should go to the best athlete available, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on which position should be prioritized for this initial pick. Leave your comments in the section below. I'm using my Super Bowl gear, which can be found in an online sports store that has a wide selection available. When you access the website, the store will recognize that you arrived through our reference. You can find t-shirts, hoodies, caps, jerseys, and many other options. We've been promoting this for quite some time, and our audience from all over Brazil has been taking advantage of these opportunities. It's a great way to celebrate the championship after the Super Bowl victory by getting your items today. Now, back to the pre-draft visits. Let's discuss some potential talents. An offensive tackle has been part of the pre-draft process, where he received a very positive athletic rating. He's slightly smaller for the position, but has an adequate weight. He's very athletic and has a good vertical jump. And this explosiveness in short distances is crucial for an offensive tackle, as it shows his ability to position himself in passing plays. He recorded a slightly above 5-second 40-yard dash, but his strength on the field may be a concern at times. However, he had notable performances last season while his team adapted to a new conference, facing some of the best defensive linemen in the country. His overall rating was 78.1, with a pass blocking grade of 83.5 and a run blocking grade of 72.5. He allowed only 1 sack, with 4 penalties and limited pressures to just 6, which is quite positive. However, I wouldn't recommend the team pick him at the 32nd position, as I believe he fits better in a second-round selection. That said, if the team decides to trade this 32nd spot for an additional second-round pick, that could fit into their plans. I suspect the management would prefer to keep the 32nd position, considering the draft options. They might choose to trade up instead. If you go back and watch the championship game, you'll notice that he stood out in his performance against a player who is currently one of my favorite edge rushers, with exceptional talent. So, his performance against that player is impressive and shows the potential he possesses. Another athlete whose performance may show some variations is a player whose physical conditioning is not the only factor affecting his effectiveness, but it plays an important role. Last year, he had standout moments, but also showed some situations that raised doubts about his potential at higher levels. What stands out about him is his ability to play different positions. During his college years, he played both right guard and right tackle, accumulating a significant number of snaps in both roles and even taking on some left guard duties in the 2021 season. This is an athlete who, with the right guidance, could become a solid contributor. While his PFF grades aren't comparable to an elite player's, they're still quite respectable, achieving a total score of 73. His pass protection grade needs improvement, sitting at 68, while his run blocking grade is 77.2. He allowed 3 sacks and committed 5 penalties, and the pressure numbers, with 21 pressures, raise concerns about his agility. This makes me think he might be better suited to play guard than tackle, given his size and performance metrics. His run blocking grade of 77.2 reveals some interesting metrics, considering the 3 sacks allowed and the 5 penalties. Regarding pressure stats, the lack of agility raises some questions, leading me to believe he might be better suited to play guard, especially since he gave up 21 hurries. There's also a relevant player the team is evaluating during the pre-draft process, and he is an athlete from NC State. I had the chance to interact with him during the NFL Combine when I learned he was scheduled to meet with the team, and soon we'll be able to share that clip. He played 741 snaps last season, earning an overall PFF grade of 73.7, which is impressive, especially in pass protection considering his size. He has agility and moves effectively, despite his build. His run blocking grade is 69.4, and he shows solid performance moving in the field, reaching second and third levels, though his technique needs improvement. He allowed 3 sacks and committed 8 penalties, and his pressure metrics are quite acceptable, with 8 pressures, especially since he didn't play alongside the best college quarterback. During our conversation at the Combine, I mentioned that the organization highly values offensive linemen. Some would say it's almost an obsession. They have one of the most renowned offensive line coaches in the league, and their line already has high-level athletes. We had a good conversation about his scheduled visit with the team, and I asked how that conversation went. He indicated that he learned the night before, after discussing the week and meetings with his agent. He learned that he would visit the team in April, and when I asked how he felt about the fact that they had recently won the championship, he described the experience as incredible, especially considering the talent of their offensive line and their performance. He mentioned that he had watched many NFL tapes to see how they protected the quarterback and executed runs effectively, highlighting that they had an exceptional year and that the team's development was remarkable. All offensive line athletes are under my observation, as I watch various league tapes analyzing what happened last year in terms of quarterback protection while running the ball. We had an exceptional season, and it's fascinating to see what's developing. Watching it on television is truly interesting. I'm very familiar with these players. We've watched a lot alongside the coach, who is extremely dedicated to reviewing tapes and learning from the best. So I always notice how they behave, observing the differences in pass execution. For example, many of their movements involve disguising their intentions during runs and other aspects, such as posture in the stance. We try to absorb their actions and implement them into our own game. Recently, an approach to building teams in the trenches was called a healthy obsession, and my response to that is positive. The whole process begins at the front line. The work in the trenches is essential. It all starts there. It's crucial to have those trenches to protect the key players at the back. Observing the athletic score of a player, he's in a good position with an impressive overall score, weighing around 160 kilograms. It's remarkable the time he achieved in a speed test. With this size, he occupies a reasonable position, but the speed reached is an important factor. A player who began his college journey at one institution and then transferred to another accumulated more than 1,400 snaps as a left tackle and more than 5,000 as a right tackle, demonstrating his versatility. The team made a new acquisition that may assume the role of reserve tackle, and there are other players who will also participate in this competition. However, the team could benefit from having some youth in this offensive tackle position to help develop a player. For this athlete, his athletic performance score is considerable, weighing almost 150 kilograms and showing remarkable speed in a test. Also, looking at the vertical jump, it's essential to highlight how the team values building in the trenches. While it may not be attractive to pick an offensive lineman in a high spot, this discussion is always on the table. The jump recorded is impressive, and I emphasize the importance of valuing the building in the trenches. Although choosing an offensive lineman in a high position doesn't seem enticing, this consideration is always taken into account. Meanwhile, there's an interesting player at the quarterback position, and it's known that the team lost a few athletes during the hiring season. I believe confidence in the defense is high, which is understandable, and there are other athletes with high potential. The team made a one-year contract signing, but this shouldn't divert the focus from seeking young talent. This is one of the reasons that sustain the current structure of the team and explain the strong performance in past achievements, as good picks have been made. If a player is available, their value is clear, and the team should evaluate him, considering the depth and role he can play. He participated in a limited number of games last year due to an injury, but during those games, he made a good number of tackles and an interception, showing a positive rating when targeted. He was targeted several times, allowing a few receptions but no touchdowns in coverage. What stands out is his performance over his career, proving to be a player with good instincts and the ability to make plays. Additionally, his performance at a significant event was notable, ranking among the fastest and showing appropriate size. While some rankings may not be favorable, I'm more concerned with instincts, playmaking ability, and speed because those characteristics are crucial in this position. Now, let's focus on a defensive end player who represents an option for later draft picks, not seen as a first-round pick in my view. He has considerable size and posted a respectable result in a speed test, but I believe teams would expect a slightly better performance. The relevance of skills in the cornerback position is indisputable. Now, it's time to address a defensive lineman from Southern Methodist. He's considered an athlete who will likely be chosen on the second or third day of the draft, not seen as a first-round prospect in my opinion. At 1.91 meters and 129 kilograms, he has a robust physique and ran a 40-yard dash in 4.78 seconds. Teams will probably expect him to perform a bit faster. Moving on to an athlete from Boston College, his performance is notable. Looking at his pressure stats over the last 3 years, especially during his time in the ACC, a reputable conference, he registered 60 pressures and 16.5 sacks in 2024. The previous year, his sack numbers were lower, totaling 34 pressures. In 2022, his sack stats improved, reaching 7.5 sacks and 35 pressures. This demonstrates 3 consecutive years of significant performance in terms of impacting the quarterback. As a freshman, he registered 35 pressures, 34 as a junior, and 60 in his final season, showing growth in his skills. One point of attention is that this athlete fits the profile of a player whose visual performance might be more impressive than his athletic test results. He measures 1.88 meters and weighs 124 kilograms, which may raise some caution among teams regarding his weight. It's important to note that he didn't participate in the 40-yard dash. On the other hand, his agility in tight spaces is essential at the line of scrimmage. Once the play begins, how quickly does he overcome confrontations? His vertical jump was 35 inches and his broad jump was 2.86 meters, promising results. However, his overall athletic evaluation may have been influenced by the absence of his 40-yard dash time and concerns about his weight. Still, his film speaks for itself. Another player who had a remarkable career jump recorded 5.5 sacks in 2024 with 48 pressures, 6 sacks the previous year with 41 pressures, and 2.5 sacks in 2022 with 29 pressures. Even in his freshman season before transferring, he had 4 sacks and 32 pressures. His athletic tests in Indianapolis showed strong results, and he's bigger than many, measuring 1.92 meters and weighing 117 kilograms, completing the 40-yard dash in 4.62 seconds. An interesting player on this list regarding the pre-draft visits is a running back from Texas. It's worth mentioning that an NFL team extended a contract with a running back, securing a significant amount of financial resources. It's also important to consider that another option is available on the roster, besides bringing in a new running back for short yardage situations. Although I have a good impression of this player and the recent addition to the roster, the team has the chance to opt for another impactful player, and the advantage is that they don't have many needs, allowing them to choose a high-potential athlete for the offense. Given that running backs generally have short careers, it's wise to plan ahead and have alternatives, a common practice among successful organizations. I value this running back's playing style. He is versatile, able to run and receive passes. In 2024, he had 134 carries, totaling 730 yards with an average of 5.4 yards per carry, as well as 42 receptions for 368 yards and 14 touchdowns. He does show a slight concern with fumbles, which is challenging, but can be worked on with training focused on ball security. His numbers really stood out in his final season after the team faced several injuries at the position, but he seized the opportunities, especially with his receiving skills. The team values this capability in their running backs. Over time, the team has sought and developed many running backs who could be used in the passing game, possessing the vision, athleticism, and running abilities expected. There is also a player from a lesser-known institution, but the team has excelled at discovering hidden talents and maximizing their development in games. Visualize the athletic skill and ability to run like an athlete, and here we have a sportsman from a less prestigious institution. However, the team has excelled in finding talents from lesser-known schools or those not in the spotlight. They've been doing well with their coaching staff and player development, aiming to extract the maximum potential from these talents. For example, it was unexpected that a particular player would be picked in the 3rd round, and the team opted for another athlete at the end of the draft when almost no one knew of his existence. During that selection event, what was evident were only the rugby highlights. Thus, this athlete received a 90.7 rating from Pro Football Focus last year, having allowed only 2 sacks, 1 hit, and 6 penalties. I don't believe he'll be ready to play at a high level immediately, but as mentioned earlier, he's a development project under the guidance of a specific coach. If you're looking for more discussions on the draft, the conversation continues right here. We are fully dedicated to this, as I believe this is the standard for the team's analysis. No one does it like us, and no one moves forward in the same way, so stay tuned. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Philadelphia Eagles' interest in Kendrick Bourne is turning heads across the NFL. A talented wide receiver with a proven track record, Bourne has been on the Eagles' radar for quite some time. With the Patriots signing of a 3-year contract extension for Bourne earlier this year, speculation about a potential trade has grown louder. The Eagles are eager to add another weapon to their dynamic offense, and Bourne's skill set could provide just that. Bourne's 2023 season was a roller coaster ride. Despite his standout performance in Week 1, where he caught 6 passes for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns in a thrilling loss to the Eagles, injuries have plagued his recent seasons. A torn ACL in Week 8 of 2023 saw him placed on injured reserve, but he's been working hard to make a strong comeback. As of October 2024, Bourne was activated from the reserve/PUP list, showing he's ready to make an impact once again. The Eagles, who are looking to build on their recent successes, see Bourne as a potential key piece in their offense. His versatility as a receiver, with the ability to stretch the field and make critical catches in tough situations, aligns perfectly with the Eagles' offensive scheme. Philadelphia has shown a keen interest in bolstering their receiving core to keep pace in the competitive NFC, and Bourne offers a veteran presence that could prove invaluable in the postseason. While Bourne's injury history may raise some concerns, his ability to perform when healthy is undeniable. His experience in high-pressure games, including his time with the San Francisco 49ers and the New England Patriots, makes him an appealing option for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. The Eagles are looking for someone who can contribute immediately and complement their star players, and Bourne fits the bill. Kendrick Bourne's skill set is tailor-made for the Philadelphia Eagles' high-flying offense. A physical receiver with excellent ball tracking and separation skills, Bourne excels in creating mismatches with defenders. His ability to make contested catches, particularly in the red zone, is one of his standout traits, making him a reliable target in critical situations. His versatility allows him to operate effectively both outside and in the slot, giving Eagles offensive coordinator Shane Steichen more flexibility in designing plays. With his route running and quick release off the line, Bourne is a player who can stretch the defense and open up space for his teammates. What truly sets Bourne apart is his playmaking ability in key moments. During his time with the New England Patriots, he demonstrated a knack for stepping up in clutch situations. His impressive 2023 season start, where he caught 6 passes for 64 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Eagles, highlighted his potential to make an immediate impact on any team. Bourne has the ability to make defenders miss in the open field and turn short gains into explosive plays, which aligns perfectly with the Eagles' emphasis on gaining yards after the catch. The decision to bring Bourne into the Eagles' fold was not random. It was a choice made by head coach Nick Sirianni. Known for his ability to evaluate talent and build an offense that maximizes player strengths, Sirianni identified Bourne as a key piece to elevate his team's depth at wide receiver. Sirianni's system thrives on players who can excel in a fast-paced, spread offense, and Bourne's ability to thrive under pressure aligns perfectly with Sirianni's vision for the team. By adding a seasoned veteran like Bourne, Sirianni is strengthening the Eagles' offense with a player who understands the nuances of the game and can perform under the brightest lights. Bourne's presence in the Eagles' locker room would not only bolster the team's offensive potential, but also bring a leadership quality that complements Sirianni's culture. With experience in both the 49ers and Patriots systems, Bourne knows what it takes to succeed in high-pressure environments and is familiar with being a key contributor in a playoff-caliber team. His professional demeanor and work ethic will resonate with his teammates, making him a valuable asset both on and off the field as the Eagles look to make a deep postseason run. As the trade rumors continue to swirl, the Philadelphia Eagles are playing their cards carefully. With a strong need for depth at wide receiver and a window for championship contention wide open, adding Kendrick Bourne could be the move that pushes them over the top. Whether a trade will come to fruition remains to be seen, but one thing is clear: Bourne's potential future in Philadelphia has fans excited. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.